two master keys necessary to solve the puzzle relating to man and universe. The clarity of the two concepts is essential to understand the puzzle of the relationship between this material universe and man. One of them is concept of God and the other is concept of self. That is, the concept of the original non-material personality of man. These are the two master keys. Without having a clarity about them, this puzzle cannot be solved. Now let's see what these two master keys are. The first is concept of God. The Quran says, as there is nothing comparable to God in this universe, we cannot form any image of His being or His personality. So, we can only know Him through His attributes. The Quran says that He is a person, a mind, who does not possess any bad attributes or weaknesses, and simultaneously masters all good attributes to the point of perfection. The second master key is the concept of self. It has three aspects. 1. The actual personality or soul. This is a spiritual being which is a non-matter, complete personality or entity. This was created in the permanent word. The Quran terms this spiritual being as nafs. These personalities or nufus were put to slumber after the covenant with God in the permanent word. This is referred to in chapter 7 of Quran, verse 172. These nufus are brought from that order of existence and attached to the hearts of the physical bodies in the womb of the mothers after around 120 days from conception. Moral concepts, aesthetical concepts, and mathematical concepts relate to this actual personality or spiritual being. But we should always keep in mind that our test is confined to the moral concepts only. We are not under test with regards to the other two concepts, that is, aesthetical concepts and mathematical concepts. The second aspect is the body. This body is also a creation of God and is provided to the actual personality as a carrier for a limited time to use and not to misuse. The body acts on the principle of survival of the self and survival of the species, just like other animals. For the survival of the self, the human beings eat, drink, and make shelter. And for the survival of the species, the male and female act instinctively, mate and procreate. The term nafsul amara in the Quran refers to this sexual instinct. The third aspect is ruh, also called spirit. This is the spirit or divine spark of God, which could be termed as conscience. The Quran describes it as nafs-e-lawama. It is attached with the body, that is carrier, for further guidance of the actual personality. The function of the spirit or divine spark or the conscience is to rebuke the actual personality, that is spiritual being, on the commission of bad deeds. This is termed as trust al-amana at the end of Surah Al-Ahzab of Quran. Now let's understand the relationship between the three aspects. The actual personality, that is soul, is the driver of the body, and its basic test is to keep the body, that is carrier, within certain limits for a specified period, that is, until the biological death of the physical body, while Ruh is the Spirit of God. It is important to reiterate here that the instincts relate to the physical body, that is carrier, whereas attributes or concepts relate to the rider, that is actual personality or soul. It is also important to mention that the tripartite concept of human being is nothing new. It has always been there in Judaism and Christianity. Even the famous poet-philosopher Iqbal has presented a tripartite concept of self. He says, अगर ना हो तुझे उलझन तो खोल कर कह दूं वजूद हज़रत इंसान ना रूह है ना बदन. Translation: If you do not get much disturbed, to you this truth I may divulge, that real self of man is neither ruh nor body. This is a great contribution of Iqbal, who proved his point by finding this fact from the word of God, that is Quran. The theory of evolution is entirely based on an erroneous concept of man, that is, man is body, which he is not. And this has created so much confusion in the whole world. And materialism is a manifestation of this big error in understanding the true self of man. I hope it is clear by now that we are not presenting something new. Rather, we are only emphasizing the same tripartite concept of man which has been prevalent in the past. Thank you.